We're barely a week into 2025 and there's already been so many big tennis headlines. Of course, there's the Elena Rybakina coaching saga, which she responded to today actually. More on that coming up. And then we have our 14th installment of Iga Swiatek versus Coco Gauff, with the pair set to play at the United Cup Finals. And Naomi Osaka ends her finals drop by reaching her first championship match as a mother in Auckland. Hey, I'm Christian Vasselnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post more Christian's Court reports like this. So yes, the big news that's been dominating tennis, at least off the court, is Elena Rybakina's coaching saga and drama with her longtime mentor, Stefano Vukov. To give a brief rundown of this, Rybakina split from Vukov in August 2024 and hired Goran Ivanisevic a few months after that, and Ivanisevic coached Novak Djokovic to his last 9 Slam singles titles. Then on New Year's Day, Rybakina announced that Vukov would be rejoining her team. Things got even messier on Thursday when the New York Times' The Athletic published an article revealing that Vukov is under investigation by the WTA Tour and is barred from receiving credentials to events on the tour, including the upcoming Australian Open. Russian tennis journalist Sofia Tartakova previously reported that Rybakina's parents wanted her to leave Vukov because he allegedly emotionally harmed her. The Athletic article also said that Goran was blindsided by the Vukov rehire and that Rybakina threatened to boycott tournaments like, again, the upcoming Australian Open if Stefano's ban was not lifted. The news understandably raised a lot of concerns about Rybakina's Australian Open participation, and the 2022 Women's Champion responded to the Vukov allegations during her post-match press conference at the United Cup. Rybakina said, "While I'm working with Goran and these articles come out, I can only say, and I said it already before, that he never mistreated me or it was never anything like that. I'm working with Goran. I'm happy with the way we work now for the past couple of weeks. As I also said that Stefano is rejoining the team because I know the person for 6 years and there's a lot of things we can do outside of the court too. Of course, I'm not really happy with the situation. I'm not happy with the comments which I see, especially from people who are on the tour. It's active coaches, commentators. I don't think that's fair." There, of course, she's referring to Pam Shriver. "But the only thing I can say is he never mistreated me. I have respect for him for everything he did from the very beginning when I was 200 all the way to what we did. I don't know. You can name me other coaches who have the same success with players who have been 200 and then winning Grand Slams and being in the top." There you have it. Rybakina again denies that Vukov ever mistreated her. I am interested though in her saying Stefano is rejoining the team because I know the person for 6 years, and that really to me shows why she just is not splitting from him. Vukov has been with Rybakina since the beginning of her career, so she likely feels a tighter bond with him. I know some people have called it Stockholm Syndrome, and I don't have enough information, of course, to definitively say that that's the case, but what I can say is that Vukov pretty much is all what Rybakina has known as a coach for a long time, so I feel like it's probably harder for her to part ways from him. She also made another interesting quote when she said, "There's a lot of things that we can do outside of the court too." What does she mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know, maybe I'm going to take it as English not being her first language and maybe her not articulating herself the way that she wanted to, but that quote was a little bit sus, not going to lie. I'm not going to say too much on this myself right now. Make sure if you haven't already to watch my previous video on this whole situation for more details on this latest investigation into Vukov. There's also going to be more to come when the WTA officially completes its investigation into Vukov. And to give my predictions, I think that they'll just kind of drop it and let Vukov have its way, because clearly Elena is just going to go down fighting behind this man. And then I ultimately think that Goran Ivanisevic will leave the team in a few months' time. Now back to the tennis. Rybakina was not victorious against Iga Swiatek in their semifinal match at the United Cup, as the Pole won 7-6, 6-4. This match was similar to their Doha final from last year, actually, as Rybakina was the better player to start off the match, and it was evident by her 5-3 lead in the opening set. It just looked like her power was too much for Swiatek, who tends to definitely struggle more against big hitters on faster surfaces. So I thought that it was going to be a fifth win in the Rybakina column against Swiatek. However, I got to give full credit to Swiatek. She made a crucial adjustment in a crucial part of the opening set as she started staying down down lower with her ground strokes instead of pulling up, and it helped her a lot. Another big asset for Iga here in this match was she relied on her impeccable defensive prowesses even more instead of trying to ball bash with Rybakina, and it helped her a lot. Especially, we literally saw this on match point where Swiatek got ball after ball back in play, and it caused Rybakina to kind of miss that easy final sitter forehand due to the pressure of Iga's incredible movement. Also, I noticed that Iga varied her spins and pace of her balls as well, which I think can be a huge asset for her game, especially when her plan A does not work. Overall, it was a very high quality match from both women, and Rybakina's serve, though, it did let her down in their tight, crucial moments. I think that could have been a big difference maker for her. When she served for the opening set and in the tiebreaker, really, she kind of struggled to get free and easy points from her serve, and in the tiebreaker, by the way, I think she won just 1 point on her serve, which is not a great sign for someone who has one of the best serves on the women's tour like she does. Still, though, it was a very positive week for Rybakina as she went 3-1 at the United Cup singles play, and she pushed, of course, the world number 2 Iga to 2 tight sets. But yes, all praise has to go to Iga. Just a great, gritty effort from her. I was astonished yet again from this performance, especially with her having some physical concerns coming into this match after having that leg strapped up due to her prior match against Katie Bozer in the quarterfinals. Judging from her reaction too after the match, you can tell just how much the win meant for her, especially after she fell in the semifinals of the Billie Jean King Cup a couple of months ago. And I think this win in particular will be huge for her confidence heading into the Australian Open. Up next for Swiatek is none other than Coco Gauff after she dispatched of Karolina Muchova yet again to help send the United States into the final over Czechia. It really was a phenomenal match from the 20-year-old. Coco raced out to a 5-love lead, and I have never seen her serve so well, really, in a long time. It was incredible. Just from all aspects from the American. Muchova just had no answers. The second set definitely was much more competitive though, as Karolina did much better on her serve, and she had more looks at breaking Coco. Coco, though, was very clutch whenever she faced break points, as she saved 4 of them at 3-2, and she fought off a love 40 disadvantage in that game too. Now, it took Muchova 9 break point opportunities before she finally broke Gauff's serve at 3-4 in the second set, and it looked like it would be more of a match. However, Coco, she broke Muchova's serve right back immediately and served it out to seal that another straight sets win. This match just shows that Coco is a bad matchup for Muchova. Coco makes Muchova play a lot of balls, of course, and she can go from defense to offense so quickly, which just makes life harder for so many opponents, especially the Czech. Coco also exploits the weaker Muchova backhand better than anyone else on tour, and a lot of that is due to Coco being able to use kind of the higher, loopier forehand to get the ball up and out of Muchova's strike zone on that backhand, and Muchova just really does not know what to do with it, and it's kind of crazy that time after time, Karolina struggles. I don't know what she can do. Maybe she can I think she should try to mix in more slices, especially to the Coco forehand, but yeah, for now, it's just an uphill battle for Muchova. Coco is now 4-0 head-to-head wise against Karolina, and she is 8-0 in sets against the Czech, and she's also 4-0 overall on the 2025 season, and is 8-0 in sets too. Taylor Fritz won his singles match against Thomas Makac, but it was an odd one, to be honest. Makac was in firm control of this match, being up a set in 5-2, and he had 2 match points, but could not close it out. Tomas had a meltdown and retired down 5-6 in the second set due to the apparently cramps, but I don't know. I think it was more of a mental thing, to be honest. Now, looking ahead to Coco versus Iga, I am very excited for this one because both Swiatek and Gauff are playing some of their best tennis right now here in this United Cup. I anticipate this one definitely to be better than their Riyadh match because really, Coco, she didn't play her best for real, to be honest, but Iga notably was pretty bad in that match. Of course, Gauff won that one 3-4. Now, when asked what the difference maker between Riyadh and other matches were, Coco said that her confidence level and belief in Saudi Arabia was much higher, and that propelled her to truly believe that she can beat Iga, which she of course did. Gauff says her plan right now is to go out there tomorrow against Iga and just be confident, and that's why I think that this would be a really competitive one, and I see it going 3 sets, and I honestly might give the edge to Coco. The tie itself, I think, would be very, very good. Of course, we have Hubie versus Taylor as well, and Hurkacz is playing great tennis. This one will be a tough one for me to call on all 3 of the matches, men's singles, women's singles, and mixed doubles. I think I'm going to be going with Poland to take it 2-1. I think they're going to be very hungry, especially after losing in the United Cup finals last year. And I see them coming out guns a-blazing and ultimately getting their hands on that big trophy. Now, across the pond in New Zealand, Naomi Osaka has ended her finals draw after she defeated Alycia Parks 6-4, 6-2 at the ASB Classic. This marks Naomi's first final since the Miami Open 2022, and she also will be cracking the top 50 for the first time since the Australian Open 2022, which is very crazy. I was very much looking forward to this Parks-Osaka match, and I was praying that it happened, and Alycia came through after she beat Katie Volinets early in the day, 6-1, 6-4, indoors due to the rain delay from yesterday. Alycia surprised me, and she definitely surprised Osaka too by her start as she came out guns a-blazing, and she got the first break to go up for a 3-1 lead. However, she started spring a lot more unforced errors, and Naomi was just the steadier of the two, and she took advantage. Alycia had a few more breakback points at 5-4 when Naomi served for it, but Osaka just snuffed them out to claim the opener. In the second set, Park struggled even more on her serve, while Naomi improved her serve even more, which meant that it was just more smooth sailing for the Japanese woman. Alycia particularly struggled on her second serve points won, as she only won 30% of her second serve points. Parks was also 1 of 10 on break points in the match, and she missed out on a lot of great chances to push Naomi even more and apply ample scoreboard pressure, so that would have definitely made her think about the win even more. But I gotta give credit to Naomi for finishing strong, and it was definitely a great effort from her, and I think this was definitely the best match that she's played this week thus far. Osaka is going to be gunning for her first title since the 2021 Australian Open. Again, which is insane that it has been that long. I think winning this title in Auckland, even though it's only a 250, it will be huge for her confidence. I know a lot of people would automatically view Osaka as the favorite here, as she now faces 22-year-old Dane Clara Towson, who defeated Robin Montgomery in the semifinals. Side note, shout out to Robin, the 20-year-old, for an excellent week in Auckland. This was her first tour-level semifinal, and now she'll rise to a new career high of 104. She will crack the top 100 in no time, and I think 2025 will be a huge year for her, and I would not be surprised if she finished it inside the top 50. Now, back to this upcoming Osaka-Towson final. Clara, honestly, she's looked in better form this week in Auckland. She's gotten some better wins. Notably, she defeated the top seed Madison Keys in the quarterfinals. Honestly, Naomi has not really impressed me that much throughout this tournament, and all of her opponents have been lower ranked than her. In fact, she hasn't faced a single player ranked inside the top 80. So it's definitely been a very generous draw for Osaka, and I feel like Towson will be a definite step up in class for her. Regardless, I think it will be a tight one, and honestly, I might favor the Dane to take the trophy here. Now, in the Brisbane 500, the finals are set as we have world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, who will be the big favorite when she takes on 107th ranked Polina Kudermetova. Kudermetova is the younger sister of Veronika Kudermetova, who was a former top 20 player, and Polina is definitely having her best run of form to date for sure. Kudermetova came through qualifying, and she defeated some fellow Russians and Lyudmila Samsonova and Daria Kasatkina to reach the stage. However, Kudermetova has already played a lot of tennis, 7 matches here in Brisbane, including qualifying, and plus, this will be her first tour level final, so she's not as experienced. Because of these factors, I would definitely heavily favor Sabalenka to take this one, and I would be very surprised if she did not. Big Lenka has looked solid this tournament thus far, and she's beaten some pretty solid opponents, including Yulia Putintseva and then most recently Mira Andreeva in the semifinals. On the men's side, Rally Opelka backed up his huge win over Novak Djokovic by defeating fellow serve bot Giovanni and Petri Pedicard 6-3, 7-6. Opelka now plays Yuri Lehechka, who got the retirement from defending champion Grigor Dimitrov in the second set, who apparently picked up a groin injury, and I hope the Bulgarian recovers in time for the Australian Open. And then at the Hong Kong 250, we had another retirement in the semifinals as Jerry Shang pulled the plug down 3-4 to Kei Nishikori. Shout out to Nishikori, by the way, who's going to be looking for his first title in 6 years when he takes on France's Alexandre Muller in the championship. that is all I have for this Christian's Court report. And let me know in the comments what you think about Rybakina's comments and if you believe her that Vukov never mistreated her. Also, who do you think will take the match in the United Cup Finals between Coco and Iga? And then 2, do you think that Naomi Osaka will end her title draw and defeat Clara Towson for the trophy in Auckland? Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my video talking about all these upcoming results tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.